Like, I type in a search term, and it won't always get all the documents that should be in that search term.
That's what everybody says about it.
Is it really?
Terrible.
I'm glad it's not just me, and I'm just not a fucking idiot doing something wwrong. I mean,
could be both.
It could be. Yeah. Just give me a second, Ryan. I'll cover that base.
Give me a second. I'll get to the self-deprecating joke.
Megatron must be stopped, no matter the cost.
Hello, friends, and welcome to the Autopod Decepticast, a bi-weekly podcast that delivers an episode-by-episode breakdown of the original G1 series. I'm your host, Aaron, and with me are two great co-hosts who need no introduction, but I'd like to give them the opportunity to do so anyway.
So nice, thank you. Oh, is this happening now? Oh, I'm Caleb. Hi, I'm Caleb.
Hey, how's doing? Tricks? I'm Ryan.
Oh, yeah. And this is our show.
Oh, it's still happening.
Episode 1 is what the awkwardness feels like. Hey, how are you guys doing on your cybersecurity protocols? Anybody got one of them password jingle jangles things going on?
I changed my passwords on a couple of things.
Perhaps
the
some
liar
things that were pointed out to you.
Yeah. Thanks, Michael.
Definitely thanks to Mike, because I've had 2 listeners tell me that because of that episode, they've upped their security game and have
Who are
got
these
a
people?
password keeper.
I didn't see that.
Well, maybe I know some of these people personally.
Oh,
Maybe
they're
one of them
real
is
humans.
maybe one of them is Kaylee's father.
Nice.
He told me.
Does he listen?
Yes, he does.
He's a
a
fucking
patron.
Awesome. I don't know these people.
Who are these
You've
people?
never met Kaylee's father, Jeff?
I don't think so.
No, I
You'd
guess,
like him. He's a good guy. I like him a lot.
I guess maybe you
Let's
have.
have
Friend
him-
of the show.
Let's have him on
Yeah,
the
he's
show.
a good guy. Good guy.
Good guy.
All right.
All right. Well, a lot of that's getting cut.
Yep.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Ryan. Anything else
hold on
happening
a second.
around this world?
Yeah, I know Jeff Sadler. He's a great guy.
Shout out to our newest patron.
Fuck yeah.
Did you guys know we have a new patron?
Yeah.
I know.
I mean,
Ryan
I do.
did.
I know we do.
Sorry, I didn't mean to make this an anti-Caleb episode
not.
accidentally.
They're all kind of that.
Matt now I want to see how you guys, Ryan, since he's probably hip to the exchange, how do you pronounce that city? Say it.
Oh, that would be Louisville.
Okay. All right. Good enough.
What do you think I wouldn't?
Well, I
that would be Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Louisville.
Louisville.
Shout out to Matt from Louisville. Matt is a fellow G1er from Ryan. You will like this, from the land of bourbon.
I do like it.
His personal recommendation, Johnny Drum, which is one I've never had. I tried to find it locally because I wanted to bring it and drink it in Matt's honor, but they don't distribute here, as far as I could tell. Not at the wine center, anyway.
That's weird. Wine Center usually has a ton of stuff.
We'll have to look into it. I definitely want to try it. It sounded like his day-to-day, so maybe I can get off that Evan Williams. I'm just kidding. I don't drink that shit.
That was a weird I don't even know.
In addition to
He gave me a look and then just started laughing.
In addition to fine corn drink, Matt is a lover of that sexy red G1 Lambo Sideswipe. He also loves Trailbreaker and the IDW Cyclonus, which indeed is a favorite character of mine in IDW world, Caleb. Cyclonus is not a recreation made by Unicron of Bombshell, and don't fight us. It's clearly Bombshell.
It's very obviously Bombshell.
He's not even a Decepticon. He's a super old character. He's kind of religious. He's a silent wanderer type. And he did do some bad shit as part of a bad clique that it did involve Galvatron, although that Galvatron is also not a Unicron creation. But he eventually hooked up with Rodimus and the Lost Light crew and developed a fun rivalry with another character named Whirl and a sweet little relationship with Tailgate. He's super tough, super loyal, and a unique take on that original character.
Does Unicron create anyone in that series?
I'm trying to remember. I don't know that he does. The Beast Wars characters do come into play towards the end during the Unicron phase, and they are sort of, but there's thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of them, and they aren't quite heralds, but they do seem to be fighting on Unicron's behalf. But I don't think there's any. Listeners, tell us if I'm wrong. I don't think there's any sort of reformatting of one character into a Unicron based. The whole Unicron backstory is completely different from the G1 storyline, but it is good. It's pretty cool. Bros,
Yeah.
Matt from Louisville has a question for us.
Okay.
Louisville.
If
I hope
Ryan's van was a transformer, what would its name be?
Mold grower.
I mean, see, I was just gonna fall back on something that's completely unoriginal and say shit piece, but
That was Matt's answer
oh,
as well. I had a few: lemon, clunker,
lemon's too cute.
jalopy, wheezy, Craigslist, sadwagon.
How about
Sadly.
paperweight? Because its shit does not move right now. I have a flat tire and it is covered in dust that I
You
would
call
have
it
to walk.
dust. It's not dust. It's literally like barnacles.
It's first of all literally not barnacles.
It's been through the sea.
It is garbage that just falls from the sky and trees and shit. But yeah, I would have to actually wash the thing before I drove it, and that just kind of like I'm like.
So you should call it neglect.
Oh, that's a good one. And I would say that my company has stated they want us to start coming back to work 3 days a week starting September 7th. And given that Missouri, as we mentioned last episode, is one of the top 3 states with the Delta variant of the COVID virus, and that with even the limited amount of people that are going into the office in the past month, 2 people have contracted COVID and have been tested positive for COVID who work there. So I'm like, there's no way we're going back in September.
No.
And if they try to make me, I'm just going to fucking quit.
Oh,
I mean, I'm
interesting.
pretty lazy.
But you're
I
vaccinated.
don't want to get another job, but
But you're vaccinated.
yes, but
It's
you can still contract it and pass it on.
Sure.
Like, I'm not worried about myself getting sick. I'm not really worried about breakthrough infection, but it's just irresponsible. It's so fucking stupid.
I understand. I'm going to be devil's advocate. Who are you worried about giving COVID?
I don't want to go back to the office.
Okay, fair enough. There you go. And I don't disagree with you.
that's the devil's
I don't
advocate.
disagree. I currently work remotely at home, and they've been pushing back the return to office.
It's
And-
stupid.
and
It's
for
so
me,
dumb.
For me, it's like I am fine with driving 2 minutes, or in your case, like walking 20 feet to do the same job. Why do we have to go back?
Exactly.
To the office?
And it's basically the
I agree.
answer is because it gives you this the managers and the corporations it gives you a false sense of like work family,
Yeah.
and it makes you want to stay or whatever.
I will hand it to my wife's work. They sent the whole department and then eventually the whole like division home to work from home.
oh.
They were way ahead of this COVID game.
They were like, why are we doing this? Let's just send everyone home. And they did that like 10 years ago.
And I bet you that saves millions of dollars in leases
It does.
a
Oh,
year
yeah.
for office
And
space.
Also, what they can do is they have programming set up to measure keystrokes. They can monitor productivity down to your interaction with your computer. So actually, they can control you more having you work remotely.
I mean, I'm not crazy about that. If I get my job done, what the fuck do you care how
Right.
long it takes me to do it?
Exactly.
well, because you could be doing more faster.
well,
I don't want
no,
to.
for their
Then pay me more.
for their particular job. These people are having to make so many calls. But yeah, I agree. If you're getting your job done, if you're meeting all of your performance goals, who cares if you do it?
Exactly.
Who cares where you do it from? I totally agree. So I for your sake, Ryan, I hope that you get what you. I sincerely hope you get what you want.
It is hilarious because like the announcement came like a week after Apple announced what they're doing, and our company like it was a copy and paste of exactly what Apple's doing,
Yeah.
which is garbage because like Apple does
Honestly,
not-
most corporations are
Well,
doing a 3-day return to work in my
What
experience.
I think what it comes down
but
to,
it's down to the day. Like
Oh,
September
really?
7th
really?
is when Apple goes back to
Is your company a Silicon Valley or considered a Silicon
No,
Valley
they're
company?
based out of Bellevue
Okay.
or Seattle.
I think what it is, it's come down to like Apple built a huge spent millions and millions of dollars on
That's
a really
exactly
nice.
what a lot of it comes down
So
to.
it comes down to they've already invested in a lease in property ownership. You know, like I know Ryan's, their office is based somewhere here in town, and they spend a lot of money on overhead of this place, and they're locked into it.
Yep.
And so they're kind of trapped. At least with my company, like there are some places like that, but the places where they've had leases expire, like this year or last year, they're like, yeah, fuck it, everyone work from home. But the places where there's still leases that they have, they're like, we may need to still have you
Wow.
come in
Yeah.
because they're trapped in a lease.
Relatively early on in the pandemic, I recall numbers coming out around productivity, and it was favorable for corporations. And I'd like to,
Yes.
I need to see some refreshed studies on that. But you would think that productivity would outweigh the lease, and they're like, we'll just have this empty building. We're getting more out of people. Whatever. Yeah, I don't know.
It's
man.
just an outmoded system that
yeah, I
hasn't
think
caught up.
Most people that are in charge of companies are old people.
Yeah.
What about aside from your situation, Aaron, your own personal situation, aside from that, what's your company's approach? Is that
They do a 3-day
yeah.
return.
All right.
So thank you, Matt, for joining the Patreon community.
Yes, that we get here. That was me. I did that. Thank you, Matt, for
Yeah,
joining our
thanks,
family.
Honestly,
You don't have to come into the office.
we've had some great exchanges. Hopefully, we can hit that Bourbon Trail.
Hell yeah.
What was the name of that?
I've never
again?
done the Bourbon Trail.
Remotely.
What was the name of the bourbon? What was the name of the bourbon he liked?
The bourbon is Johnny Drum.
Johnny Drum. Okay,
So-
I'll have to check that out. See if I can
still
find it.
we're still going
I went
Bal-
to their website and checked their distribution, and there was nothing around here. And then I went to the wine center just in case it wasn't covered, and it wasn't there. So
We're still going to Baltimore, right?
At the moment, yeah, I mean, again,
why are you breathing like that? Oh, because of COVID.
Brian has COVID. I was just breathing. I think here's my thought of like, yes, of course, I don't go out in the world, and when I do, I wear a mask. I feel like for me, I feel comfortable enough going to Baltimore. Maybe I'll, again, I'm not worried about myself getting sick. Maybe I am worried about passing it on to others, but if I wear a mask, I think I'm perfectly safe. It's not the same thing as like going into an office 3 days a week.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah, I'm comfortable with my wife said the other day, is like, do you feel safe going to Baltimore?
Yeah,
And I said,
You guys just went to Disney World, and so did I.
that was in fucking May. Things were different like fucking a few weeks ago.
It's true.
But no, I told her, I was like, well, I'm not worried about going to Baltimore. I was like, people from Baltimore are probably more worried about me coming to visit them at this point because we live in hotspot USA.
Yeah. I asked West about it yesterday. I was like, if we were going to Baltimore next month, would you be concerned? She's like, yeah, I don't know that I would want to. And I'm like, well,
So
I understand.
I'm good with going. But I play by the rules.
It's true.
I'm vaccinated. I wear a
yeah.
mask.
That's the most frustrating part about it.
Matt, are you vaccinated? No, Muhammad Ali's from there.
Why
Oh,
is
really?
this episode starting
Yeah.
so depressing?
Cassius K.
We need to just.
I'm the greatest. Now what happens?
If you'd like to join our depressing Patreon community, you can do so at patreon.com/APodDecast. Matt, you totally deserve a better shout out than that.
Hold on, pause it
We'll
real
give you a
quick.
surprise
Wes,
shout out later.
We just had a patron, and we thanked him by talking about the whole problem with COVID in the country. Is that okay?
Is that okay?
Yeah. Thank you for bringing us the sandwiches.
I don't know. Thank you, baby.
Thank you, West. So
We should just do
listeners,
the podcast
yeah, that's
while
fine.
eating
no,
a
no, I
sandwich.
I even made a joke about that.
We're gonna do some
Listen,
mukbang.
so listeners, we just got our dinner. We recorded a big episode previously.
We're gonna mukbang this with you.
Muff-bang?
Mukbang. You don't know what mukbang
I know what
is?
mukbanging is. It sounded like you said It is. Do you watch those videos?
No.
What's Muff-bang?
It's whenever somebody like gets a bunch of food and then they eat it on YouTube, basically.
Oh, really?
Then I have a question, and I'm totally afraid that both of the questions I'm about to ask of both of you are no. So I had this high thought the other day, even though I don't smoke weed, but have you heard about the fact that the moon seems to have developed like a slight wobble in its orbit?
Yeah. We're talking about in the 2030s how there's going to be tidal waves.
Yeah, like coastal flooding and shit like that.
Sure.
It's a pretty natural cycle, but it could cause some problems. Normally, it wouldn't be obvious on Earth, but we've changed the climate in a radical way. But so my second question is, do you remember a couple of years ago when a bunch of baby witches cursed the moon?
No. What's a baby witch?
Like just a young witch, like a little witch, like a millennial witch, like a new witch, basically.
I do not remember this.
These are Wiccans.
Not necessarily,
Well,
just witches.
So no, I don't remember what happened.
They cursed the moon, and it was on
Why?
Twitter.
Why?
Exactly. It was just like being, I don't know, it was a thing they did. There was no real reason. It was just like being provocative.
Thanks, millennials. Works in the fucking
So
moon.
my question is, what if it worked?
I guess we're seeing it.
Then magic is real.
To some extent, magic is real.
Oh,
I
what?
don't think that the moon's wobble has to do with baby witches cursing it and from like 3 years ago. Mostly like chaos magic is like the power of positive thinking. But anyway, I just saw I saw that news story and I was like, it just was a fucking like shower thought that I had.
You think magic is real?
To some extent,
Well, you're talking about just manifesting.
yes, manifesting your reality.
through,
Yes.
and it would go the same way with negative thinking. If you're a sad sack, you're probably not
Yes.
going to generate much positive output in your life. I like the All Gas No Brakes / Channel 5 interview with the dude in one of the crazy Florida people they interviewed that said, and I think this is a famous quote actually, science is just magic we don't understand. Oh, wait. Magic
It's just
is
science.
just science we don't understand.
Stop. Reverse it. All right, let's get drink.
Ryan, romance is in the air. Why don't you whip us up a little bit of that love potion number 69?
Yeah.
Or as Dr. Bill Cosby calls it,
Oh no.
Quaaludes.
What you got, Ryan? Oh, sorry to steal your
Our hotbot summer rolls on. It's actually almost over. For this episode, I think will air the 15th of August. So for this episode, I thought we might have one of my favorite cocktails, which is a daiquiri. And I have one of these almost every day before lunch. Wow. Which works well to me working to work from home. But we're not trying just one kind of daiquiri. No. We're going to try 3. So we have a Trion of daiquiris.
That's really
That's
awesome.
like the epic.
That's a name. Flight of the Daiquiris. Most people probably think of a blender drink when they hear the word daiquiri, but that's a pretty recent development. The history of the daiquiri is far too involved and rabbit holey to go into here. I just want to say that the idea that it was introduced or invented by an American mining engineers in Cuba during the Spanish-American War is pretty unlikely and quite ludicrous. There are countless ways to make this cocktail, and it's what they call like a Mr. Potato Head, in that you can plug and play all the parts in any way you want to. So here
we just call it Potato Head here.
it's that's true. Mr. Potato Head's canceled. It's just a potato head.
Sorry, go ahead, please. Please go ahead.
For you 3 variations. The basic, which is the first one in front of you. This is a 2-to-1-to-1 ratio. 2 ounces or 60 mils white rum, 1 ounce of simple syrup, and 1 ounce of lime. Shake and pour to a chilled coupe. It's just a basic. This is like your quintessential bargain basement daiquiri. The 2-1-1, 2 parts rum, 1 part simple syrup, 1 part lime.
Once
juice.
again,
Starting bargain basement.
Right, I think I am continually impressed. Ryan works up a specialty drink every episode, and he continues to. This is a flight. There's 3 separate glasses here. Each glass is different. It evolves not only according to the drink, but visually in the presentation.
Rarely does he repeat glassware.
No,
even.
yeah. I will have to say, like, Ryan, you have the makings of a what's the person that makes the drinks?
Mixologist?
Bartender?
You have the makings of a true mixologist.
That sounds pretentious.
I know it sounds pretentious, but it's impressive.
Would you rather
Thank
be called a mixologist or a bartender?
Bartender.
You obviously have the makings of a bartender. So
Not
you.
just one that serves
That's
beer.
nice.
anyway, I'm gonna drink
Yes, I
this
agree.
first.
And
Dak,
this is
this is
good.
This is just a straight on Dak.
Yeah, just straight up white rum. The rum I use is a Cruzon aged light rum for this one.
It's delicious. It's refreshing, especially after that sandwich I just
And
had.
there is lemon. No.
Lime juice.
Lime. It's very
2 ounces
limey,
rum,
which is
1
nice.
ounce lime, 1 ounce.
It's like a
simple
lime
syrup.
drop.
It follows that sandwich I had just perfectly.
Now the second one.
All right.
I'm calling this the funk.
Okay.
This is 1 3/4 ounces or 52 mils of white rum, same thing as the last one. A 1/4 ounce of Jamaican overproof rum, which I use Rum Fire, which is a hilarious bottle. If you look at the
Yeah,
design,
cheap.
it's so
Showed us that.
stupid.
Yeah, it's cheap looking.
But
Yeah.
like
But it-
bartenders love it.
Yeah.
Mainly because it's cheap and it's also actually really good.
Yeah.
1 ounce, 30 mils of simple syrup, and 1 ounce of lime juice. Shake and pour into a chilled coupe. And this, like, even the tiny amount of the Jamaican overproof, you're gonna taste it. It's like a banana funk,
I
like
can
an
smell it.
overripe banana.
I can smell it without drinking it yet.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. You know, when I smelled it, it almost had a smell of tequila, but tasting it, it's banana rum.
Mm-hmm.
But it's called Rum Fire.
Rum Fire
That could be
is the brand.
That's a dangerous drink.
Yeah.
I can.
And that is 100 and...
Yeah, that's a dangerous drink.
20 proof, I think. I can't remember.
You could add tequila. You could add a really good tequila to that to give it a pepperness, and that'd be a fucking dangerous drink.
Does overproof just mean over 80?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's just the flavor profile of that rum. That is that sort of banana stank.
Jamaican rum usually is funky like that.
Jesus Christ.
This third one is the Hemingway.
Hemingway.
Let's get to it.
Like the daiquiri itself, the story of the version of this cocktail has a nebulous history. Supposedly, it started as Hemingway ordering a daiquiri with double rum and no sugar, which sounds like a disgusting drink, which would be 4 ounces of booze and 1 ounce of lime. And I can't imagine that would be delicious, as it may or may not have been because he was diabetic. Like, so he was like, no sugar, please, but all the rum.
Yeah.
Which is always good.
Which rum still has sugar in it, right?
No.
And it's distilled out, right?
Oh.
Yeah, if it's still like, yeah, there's no more rum because the yeast
sugar, you
or
mean.
the sugar. I'm sorry. Yes, the yeast is eating all of
I
it.
mean sugar, you idiot.
Right. So this is the
This is the
Hemingway.
modern version though, which is very much improved. It's 2 ounces, 60 mils of white rum, a 1/4 ounce of maraschino liquor, which is made from cherry pits. It's not to be confused with maraschino like cherries. It's a liquor. A 1/4 ounce or 3/4 ounce, I'm sorry, of lime juice and a 1/2 ounce of grapefruit juice, and then we shake and put in there. It's weird.
Cheers
Honestly,
before you drink.
I feel this one is weird.
Don't poison the well, Ryan.
Wow. That's completely different than the first two.
Yeah,
I like it. What is that aftertaste?
That's
the maraschino.
I
Is
thought it
that
was a
right?
grape.
Yeah.
I thought it was a grapefruit.
There's some of that too, but probably if you're tasting something where you're like, "What is that?" It's maraschino, which tastes to me, not to poison the well, but to me tastes a little bit like soap.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're right. I was my first impression when I drank that was that I was drinking like perfume.
Yeah, it has a lavender like
Yeah.
flavor to it.
I was like
I don't like this one. I just wanted to illustrate
Wow.
how different you can make daiquiris. Like, it's so
Far out.
crazy. Also, I have this spray bottle. If you want to do it in the
Is it Heather?
what?
Never mind. Keep going.
Okay, if you want to,
Excited.
if you wanted to use this in the regular daiquiri, it's absinthe. You can do little spritzes. That makes another level of
Yeah.
a.
Do you want some?
Yep.
Of
I
a,
do.
Want a hit?
Yeah. You have a spritzer of absinthe. So I just
Do you
put a
use that
spritzer-
as breath spray every now and again? All right, so now our daiquiri triple flight has become a
I can
quadruple.
smell
Indeed.
it. I can really smell that absinthe now. Okay, I will say this. Of all the drinks that I've had, this is the single most impressive presentation that I've had, period, on all these episodes. I'm very impressed.
Well, thank you.
The history,
That's very nice.
the knowledge, the glassware.
Yeah, it's overall, it's like you could, outside of this podcast, you could probably do something like this and like almost have like a class kind of deal. This is really impressive.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I love daiquiris. It's probably, honestly, I go back and forth on whether if I could only have one cocktail for the rest of my life, would it be a martini or a daiquiri? And I don't know.
Wow.
Like, I love daiquiris.
Well, I'm actually glad that you have that. I'm glad that you have that indecisiveness because that leads you to explore.
It's true.
Do you have a favorite, Caleb? The OG
Personally, I like
The
the
funk?
funk. I like the funky one. I like
or the
overproof.
Hemingway?
I can only say I'm not a big fan of. I've never been a fan of banana. That's just a personal bias. There's nothing against the drink itself.
It has no banana in it.
I know,
It's
but
true.
It's got a banana liqueur.
Yep. Well, it's got a banana. It's just a flavor. That
I'm
comes
gonna
through,
have
yeah.
to go with the first one, the straight ahead daiquiri. The spray of absinthe in it gives me an absinthe on the nose before I drink it.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that. The third one is it's bizarre, so I have
It
to kind of
is.
because I can't tell you if I like it or not. It's strange, but the combination of all three is a fun trip to take.
There is not any banana liqueur in the second one, right?
Nope.
Okay, just
It's
making
just
sure.
rum.
I just want to make sure I wasn't
but,
wrong about that.
Yeah, Jamaican rum traditionally is funky in a overripe, like almost rotten banana way.
There you go.
The-
And I get that.
I feel like the Hemingway
Wow.
is salvageable. It just needs there's some kind of balance needs.
I almost think we should just go ahead and not talk about Transformers anymore and just turn this rest of this episode over
I
to
mean,
trying these
COVID,
drinks.
masks, man, doesn't matter
Wow.
anymore.
All right, that's far out. You're going to get some good pictures of these?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll get some
I
stuff.
really encourage the listener to really check these out. This is really something special.
Particularly the funk. I think that's my favorite. If one were to ask me, I will ask myself, what is your favorite, Aaron?
And I answer,
the funk.
bring it.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, excellent job as always, Ryan.
You've hit another
Thank you.
You've hit another level in my opinion.
I can't believe it because I feel like he has been leveling up over time. There have been some big ones. Not that I'm questioning the level he's hit. I'm just surprised that this is the moment where you've been struck with this insight.
Yeah,
of
he
his
says that
skill
quite a
and
bit,
talent.
actually. Yeah.
You've hit another
Caleb's
level?
nice to me.
Oh,
Caleb is a good friend.
well then.
All right, I'm going to enjoy these while we do our episode here. Very good.
Last episode recap. Raoul and Trax 2, Electric Boogaloo. Blaster and Trax met up with Raoul and his breakdancing crew to investigate the mysterious reason why a businessman, a flapper, and a centurion would ever go to a punk rock dance club. Answer, none of this makes any sense. Let's get into the search for Alpha Trion, written by Beth Bornstein of Child's Play fame and illustrated by the famous Toei Studio.
Not well.
Wait a minute. Ryan, that's not true.
Really?
There's some amazing dynamic angles in this thing. Cybertron, 1985. We're inside of Shockwave's lair, but he's nowhere to be found. A hole is being torch cut from the outside wall. I'm just gonna keep doing this.
I do like that Shockwave is just like not in the office.
He's got to take a smoke break,
I guess he had to take a dump or something. I don't know.
and nobody else fucking works here.
Nope.
No one else.
Nope.
Shockwave
There
is,
seem to be no Decepticons on the planet because then we're going to see Megatron has to send Decepticons.
yeah, Shockwave's the only Decepticon on Cybertron, right?
Actually, well, he's got the drone.
Oh, the Sentinel?
the dumpy ass. What's the name of the Jetsons maid?
Is it Betty or Betsy?
Whatever. You guys know where I'm going with that. A hole opens up to reveal 3 Autobots of feminine form who call themselves Moonracer, Firestar, and Chromia. And this is a hit and run. they're on a mission for Shockwave's Energon, and they're going to locate the supply room while providing an update transmission to a fourth decidedly heroic-sounding female called Elita 1. That thing looks like a PKE meter.
That's
What the fuck?
I didn't notice that before, but you're right. What Firestar is holding looks like a PKE meter
Fucking
from
ghosts in that
Ghostbusters.
room. Don't go in there. Wait a minute. They blow a hole through the wall
To reveal a
computer, which they then type on,
It's
which opens a
strange.
door
It's odd.
to an elevator
well.
shaft.
Oh, well.
Well, this episode is odd. I will say I enjoyed it 1,000% more than our last episode. I really liked it. Like,
Yeah, it's a great episode.
I enjoyed this one a lot.
Well done. Well, I mean, I'll get into this more, but it's good story, great animation. Yeah, it's one of my, it's one of my favorite ones in a while in this whole gauntlet that you guys are putting me through.
I just like any episode that touches on the past.
Yes.
You know, you find a computer that tells the story of the war. I love it. I'm in. Do some little flashbacks on past relationships. I love it. Firestar transforms into a truck for Holland, and there's some bickering about with the amount of energon that they've been authorized to pilfer, and that ultimately leads to Moonracer setting off a security system, which caused her to then be encapsulated into some kind of crystal cube.
Mm-hmm.
So she's captured.
It's weird that the female Autobots have wheels as opposed to the Cybertronian modes that we've seen
That's true.
from the other Autobots who all are hover vehicles.
I like the design because it's a clear precursor to season 3, to the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm seeing design elements in Blur and in Cup,
Yep.
and even in Hot Rod. And I wonder if Flora O'Darity had any kind of involvement in this, because this stuff is, this stuff's, very.
He probably did,
it's a
because he had
clear-
involved in all of the designs
Okay,
of all
it's
the
a very
characters, but-
clear aesthetic leading
Yeah.
into the movie.
I didn't have any specific information about it, but you're probably right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's a good.
I see Cup, I
thing
see
to pick
Blur, all that stuff. I see London, I see France.
I like their designs. I think they're very cool.
Yeah.
Shockwave's attention has been gotten. Female Autobots, I thought they were extinct.
They're extinct.
Which
He was
means
wrong.
This
okay,
is a whole-
this is fast forwarding a little bit in this episode, but it just hit me. They're extinct because of that one event. There were always only these like 8 or however many there are female Autobots, and they just all happened to be at that rocket blasting later, and so they're extinct.
where Elita 1, quote unquote,
Mhm.
prime thought she was
Is that the event that would have been the extinction event?
It doesn't hold together because also, like, I thought they were extinct. A whole gender of people, like, they were extinct. I guess they're just trying to explain why there are female Autobots now.
Why we haven't seen them before? Why there's none? Why there's
they're
none?
underground.
Why there's none that are on Earth? It's like, oh. Anyway,
Forgive me, because I know I'm going to say Firestarter instead of Firestar several times throughout this episode. I'm surprised you know that song, right?
I was around in the 90s.
Firestar races by Shockwave, dodging his wrist gunfire. He takes the elevator to confront their companions, and his shot that he takes inadvertently frees Moonracer from the crystal cube that she's in. She and Chromia then escape in their alt modes and catch up to Firestar. What do you think of that?
Shockwave is terrible at his job. He can't.
Never seemed that competent.
I mean,
he's
he can't keep anybody.
he's consistent. He consistently blows. I love him for it. He's trying to do the job. He's by himself.
It's
it's
true.
not his fault.
Again,
he's
there
way
don't-
understaffed.
There don't seem to be any other Decepticons
No,
other than the
He's
Sentinels.
doing the best he can in the situation.
Shockwave at this point sends a dumpy ass Sentinel drone to track down the headquarters for these Autobots.
I mean, it's clearly designed for flight.
Didn't it have rockets on its back? There it is.
So
no,
bad.
it has. I'm sorry, it doesn't have rockets
It
on
has
its back.
wheels.
It has wheels, but it just has rocket like blast coming out of it. I don't know what
It's
this thing-
weird.
It looks like a vacuum cleaner.
Again, Shockwave is only as good as the tools that are given him.
I guess you're right.
If Megatron would give him a bigger budget, he could
Yeah,
invest
It's bizarre.
and hire.
They're building all this shit on Earth. Shockwave's stuck with this thing. I don't get it.
Shockwave reports to Megatron. Female Autobots exist. Megatron says, "Find them. Capture Elita 1." I guess he just knows that she has to still be around. I neglected to mention that the female Autobots were about to enter their headquarters. Elita 1 was like, "No, you ain't coming in here. They got some company right
on
now."
to you.
So they turn around and destroy the drone. But
Moon Racer, one shot, one kill.
she's a sharpshooter. The point is that while that drone was destroyed, Shockwave can triangulate the location of the base. The tricolored trio, they enter the secret location of their headquarters. They report to Elita 1. Despite complications, their mission was successful. Worried about their base being located, Elita shares that she will contact Alpha Trion for a recommendation on how to stay safe. That will be one of my favorite things later. Like, we got to get with Alpha Trion so that he can say, "You should go somewhere else."
Oh, I have that on too. But also, like, they drop. Okay, so the 3 Autobots drop the energon cubes down this tube. Where are they? Because whenever they fall down the tube, they're not in evidence. I don't really care. But yes, to your point, Aaron, Elita 1 contacts Alpha Trion where she's like, "I think that the Decepticons might know where we are," and he's like, "Go away,
Get out of there."
Like,
We are
I don't
ahead of
think you need
ourselves.
that call.
I love all the designs of the female Autobots, but Elita
Yeah.
1's design kicks ass. I love
Yeah,
that
it's great.
stupid, goofy helmet that she's wearing.
Yeah.
I like Chromia's second best in IMO.
Yeah, no, she looks like, because of that headdress, she's in charge.
She looks like a boss.
Yeah, for sure.
She's definitely the
She an
Beyonce of the underground female Autobot resistance.
Right.
She an all-star.
Get your game on.
Yeah.
Shockwave triangulates the location of the entrance to the female Autobot base as the Decepticon reinforcements arrive for the assist. It's a classic company consisting of Starscream, Astrotrain, Rumble is blue, Ramjet is white, and it's time to throw down.
Like I said, it seems like this call that Elita 1 makes to Alvatron is not necessary. He has a very specifically human nose. Like, he
Yeah, you're
looks
right.
like a guy.
I noticed that. His nose is distinctly human. Yeah, check it out. It's not robotic. It's not square like all the others.
Is that a way of trying to connote age?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a
guess.
way of like.
But he looks like a wizard. He's
He does.
Gandalf.
Yeah,
He's the
no, I
Gandalf
agree.
of the Transformers
I
world.
think for some reason it works for him as a means of showing age and wisdom. Same with the beard.
Well, yeah, and here we get Chekhov's special power as Alpha Trion tells Elita 1 not to use her special power under any circumstances, which also made me think of the jerk with his special purpose.
Yeah.
The context of that is that he's like, you got to go find another place to go.
Yep.
And Elita is essentially taking on the task. She doesn't want her team to go do that. She's going to personally go do that. The rocks split. Elita arises.
You don't like my special purpose reference?
No.
Okay. Also,
I did. I did nothing for it. Yeah.
I'm sorry I didn't have a backup. I love the movie The Jerk.
Yeah.
my fault.
Thanks for pulling my cap down. Be somebody.
Be somebody.
There's
Have you
some
guys
people-
seen The Jerk?
No, I can't.
They hate
I
these
can't-
cans.
I can't believe this is happening.
They hate these cans.
He's the kid wearing the shirt that says bullshit.
I can't believe this is happening.
It's pretty quotable. Somebody was telling me the other day that they felt that Tombstone was perhaps the most quotable movie. And
It's up there.
It
Yeah.
is very quotable, but I was never a huge Tombstone stan. I think The Jerk might be more quotable.
I don't know. I saw Tombstone in the theater. Yeah, I would say Tombstone itself. No. I was going to say it's just limited to Val Kilmer, but no, there are other there are other people in that
It's-
movie.
It's
where
all
there's-
Val
yeah.
Kilmer.
Without Val
No,
Kilmer,
it's-
that movie,
You know
I
what's
don't know.
Tombstone, the
agree.
Val Kilmer cut?
First of all, I
all you-
love. I mean, I
Oh, it's
I love that movie, but yeah, I feel like Val Kilmer makes it.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
remember
The
Aaron,
bad guys
you
have
would-
some good quotes too, though. Quotes like where like the good guys are leaving town and they're like, "Well, I guess
You
we're
smell
gonna
something?
leave now." And the bad guy goes, "Okay, bye."
Yeah, he's yeah. Bye. You smell that? Smells like somebody died. Jesus, Johnny.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
The thing is about that movie, it's a dumb movie except it's got the best. It's got the best one.
It's very over the top.
yeah, but
it's
it's
not-
it's such a
yeah.
good. It's such a good way.
Alita arises from her base. As she does so, she hears Starscream, giving the female Autobots credit for their canniness, but of course acknowledging they could never outsmart him. He commands Rumble to... it's really weird that they randomly bring Rumble into an episode.
yeah.
But he has a job to do, and he does it. He pile drives the ground to shake the hidden Autobot team from their subterranean hideaway. The impact is severe. From inside the base, we see the roof collapsing on top of the Lady Autobots as we go to commercial. Returning from commercial, Alita fires on the Decepticons in an attempt to halt their assault on her comrades. We see Alita is a formidable opponent. She can flip and jump and dodge and catch a rocket like the best of them, but she's ultimately fell by Starscream's null ray.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like the weapons in this episode are very strange.
Because his null ray shoots little sound wave type
Yeah, they
audio.
look like radar waves or
Yeah.
something. I guess it's actually using it the way it's intended because it makes her fall and I guess become immobile.
But he's used the phrase null ray before, and it didn't do
It's
that.
all every single time he uses it, it's different.
So, what makes a Transformer female?
Oh, I think we're getting
Oh,
deep
God.
here, bro.
Because she has lipstick on?
Why does she have to wear lipstick?
Why is
She's
she?
at this is war.
How is she female?
Yeah, it's
Yeah. Okay, just putting that out there.
it doesn't really make sense that Transformers would have gender.
Is it because she doesn't have like square angles? She's like smooth and round?
Smooth around the bend like Barbie.
Yeah.
But why would a robotic race have a need
For gender.
for a binary like that?
Yeah.
I
Do
guess
they-
they're all binary.
Do they reproduce?
Ones
like
and
that?
zeros, baby.
What's going on? I don't know what's
I can't
really
remember
going on.
to what degree the IDW universe addresses that question. They're also
Does she identify?
trans robots.
Is it
in the
because she
IDW universe.
identifies as female?
I mean, that could be it. I mean,
Okay. I'm fine with. I mean, I don't know.
I mean,
I'm
female.
just asking questions.
What is female but an identification?
True.
So maybe it's just socially constructed that she's
Female?
a female.
Okay. I mean,
Or
as long
but-
as she's fine with that.
If these were the Autobots that were stranded on Earth as opposed to the ones that were, the war would be fucking over.
That's true.
Because these
'Cause they're
Autobots
good.
are good.
Yes.
They're proactive.
Yes. They're good
They
at their
get
job.
shit done.
They
They
do it.
plan more than one step ahead.
Yep. Yeah. They would have taken care of shit a long time ago.
They're pretty good. But as it is, where we are in the episode, Alita 1 captured. The rest of the female Autobots, they're underground still.
Why are there no female Decepticons?
There are in modern interpretations.
Is it weird that I find the concept of female Decepticons sexy?
No.
Okay.
You can think whatever you want is sexy.
Okay.
You can think like fucking a corpse is hot.
Nope. That's not kind of. I
What if it's
wasn't.
a female corpse?
Wasn't going that way at all.
It's like you're just like, oh, she's so still and cold.
Nope. This is not the direction I was going at all.
You can,
I'm sorry I asked.
spit on it.
I'm sorry. really, 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 really sorry I asked.
Spit on it.
So I'm not going to say anything else for the rest of the episode.
Underground, the female squad is shaken and trapped, but they are functional. These Autobots are going to refer to Stephen Covey's habit number 1, be proactive. And they're gonna figure this out, guys. I know they are. I've got faith.
Oh god, this is where I love this part where Megatron calls Optimus Prime.
He
Yeah.
just has his
On
phone
Teletron
number.
1, and it's like Optimus says Megatron, and my next thought was, I told you never to call me here.
Yeah, why do you answer? Does he just answer whoever? What happens?
He should have blocked him.
Yeah, I would think.
Megatron.
Optimus Prime, something rather exciting has been discovered on Cybertron. I thought you might like to know about it.
Get to the point, Megatron.
It seems that female Autobots still exist on Cybertron.
What?
Some of them were foolish enough to break into our headquarters on Cybertron.
You're bluffing, Megatron.
I realized you would demand proof. How's this, Prime?
Elita. Let her go, Megatron, or I'll...
You'll surrender immediately. If you ever want to see Elita 1 functioning again, you have 2 Earth hours to make up your mind.
Why did I just say 2 hours?
He really strikes a nerve too. Like Megatron knows what he's doing.
Prime cannot bluff at all.
Nope. Nope.
He's-
Nope.
What? Huh? No.
Yeah, he's terrible.
And also, they don't have to use Earth hours. They can use whatever units of time they're most
I
accustomed
think he's
to.
just trying to be specific.
I think he's
I
just
thought
trying to
about
help
this
us
a lot,
understand.
actually, way too long, and I was like, what if Prime's like, was he using Cybertron hours or Earth hours? I don't know.
I can see Prime actually like getting confused.
That
over
would be funny. You have 2 hours. What do you mean, Megatron?
Was it-
Earth hours or
don't know.
Cybertronian hours?
At this point though, like Prime gets like I haven't seen him this earnest in a long time.
That's who he gives the most fucks about.
Apparently, I didn't know that he had this like relationship.
Nor I. But he must surrender in 2 Earth hours or they're going to cut her fucking head off. Prime demands...
Is that what they said?
I'm paraphrasing. Demands Teletran to pinpoint the location of the Decepticon space bridge, which just seems like a thing they
You
should
should
just
know.
always be keeping an eye on. Teletran does that shit. As Prime then travels to the space bridge, he begins to reminisce
Yeah.
about the last time he saw Elita 1.
It's not entirely clear, though. Like, the flashback comes out of nowhere. There's no dissolve.
Yeah.
The
It
music doesn't change.
It took me a second to like figure out what was going on.
Yeah, so we go to
They
a
should have
flash.
done a diddle.
Yeah,
But
which
I
they
like
do at
it.
the end of it. But there's no fucking change to let us know that now Prime is. He rolls out to the space bridge, and he's remembering, I guess, 4 million years ago, whenever he and
Yeah.
the other Autobots left
That's right.
Cybertron.
Right. Before he boarded the ship that ultimately stranded them on Earth,
Right.
he commanded Elita and her troops to take cover and wait for him. He'll return, and right about that time, this shower of rockets just rains down, pelts, it explodes all over the launch pad.
And he
And I
thinks
guess
she's-
that's why
I
they
think
think they're all dead.
Yeah, he thinks she's dead, but
Is it that she's just dead, or all the female Autobots, or does it matter?
It doesn't matter. He thinks she's dead.
unclear. See there. Yeah, we get a
Diddle-a,
soft
diddle-a,
dissolve with a
diddle-a.
little doodle-doo. Yeah, the wings
He's
roll.
going to the space bridge.
He will not forget his promise. Other Autobots discover that Optimus Prime has packed his bags for Cybertron. He didn't tell anybody.
No, he just
No,
fucking
he did
left.
not.
And what do you do when you find out your leader's taking a solo trip to his home planet? You get your crew together and you go find him.
Bunch of red guys.
Well, yeah.
And only red guys have girlfriends.
On the TF wiki, not necessarily that it's clear they're girlfriends, but yeah, they're with relationships to the
Right.
female Autobots. The only red guys.
I guess it's not even clear that Optimus Prime and Elita 1 are in a relationship.
Nope.
They don't kiss.
He seems really into her.
Prime rolls up to an unguarded space bridge and trips fantastic on that ultralight beam to Cybertron.
Yeah.
He arrives and is immediately contained in one of Shockwave's crystal cubes.
Like immediately.
Yeah.
Boom.
I mean, Shockwave is tired. People were just running
I
away.
think good for him. He finally figuring it out. Like, let's trap people.
They bring forth Elita, who tries to free him, her efforts in vain. As Starscream is about to execute her, Shockwave intervenes with a better idea.
No, wait. I've got a stupid plan.
We transition to Chromia, Moonracer, Firestar, and the rest of the Underground Warriors. They're all brainstorming a path out of their predicament. Of course, the Energon. Luckily, it was stored in the sturdiest of panic rooms for safekeeping.
I saved it over here.
They strategically stack the Energon, and then Moonracer aims and fires. Boom! They're free. Time to find Elita 1. Ironhide and the gang find their way to the space bridge.
Oh, my God.
It's still unguarded.
Well, is it? Because they say, if Prime got past those guards, so can we.
But did they know that?
There are no fucking guards. It's just like, what?
They're
What are you talking
idiots.
about?
So you got Ironhide, Inferno, Power Glide, maybe some other ones. Who cares? We'll go back to Prime.
I was curious if your version of this had this same animation error we're about to see.
Oh, are you talking about the junk in the... Okay. Well,
No,
we'll see.
just the bat that's missing.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Okay.
It does not... It does have that animation error.
So that's just across the board. That was never animated.
Mm-hmm. It's
Okay.
just smoke from the ground.
Okay. Well, we'll do it. We're doing it.
We're doing it.
It's happening. It's happening.
Back to Optimus Prime, who's been strung up by Starscream and is dangling over some kind of acid pit.
Of
yeah,
nothing.
I before I knew it was an acid pit, that's what I saw, and so my original notes were like some kind of smoking floor.
Also, so yeah, we see there's a supposed vat of acid that's supposed to be underneath Optimus Prime, but the first top-down view we see of it is just a smoking floor, and also the steam is not moving. It's just a static image.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
forgot to
Yeah,
animate the steam.
Didn't get there.
That said, I really feel like at this part of the episode, these drawings and the angles really take a turn for the cool.
Yeah, things
Like
get-
even this angle is pretty cool, despite the
Yeah.
fact that there's not a vat of acid underneath Optimus Prime.
The animation gets better.
The Starscream shot that we see next, like I feel that's a
Yeah.
really cool. I've never seen him look like that. This is at 13:13, the way he's smirking, and I don't know, man. Just the angle is good. It's well drawn.
Things
Yeah.
get picked up a notch. Animation error aside, yeah,
There's
that's
good lighting
even
effects
even
and
all that,
shading here,
even the movements, everything gets better.
It's time to murder Optimus Prime, everybody.
Oh no!
Starscream gives the order. Rumble swings the sword that chops the chain that drops Optimus Prime into the acid.
That's a real see all that right there. That's like go back when he lifts. That's a really good animation. Like when he in a minute.
From the
This
side.
this is really good shit right here. That's really
It
good
is.
animation.
We're talking about Elita 1 is begging for Optimus Prime's life. She's struggling to try and shake free.
The
of,
proportion,
and then
the color, the shading, very good.
yeah, Starscream gets in her face to taunt her a little bit more.
Absolutely. I don't know. Someone took over this day.
The hatchet is gone. And even the scream, the way she pulls away, and
Yeah.
just the shading, layers of color and
Yeah.
lighting. We're gonna go to commercial, everybody. We can't watch Prime die.
No,
Will
Prime die?
not today.
Name Shockwave.
Yeah, I know. This is the part. This is the part in the episode where I was like, "Oh, holy shit!" There's some really good animation in this episode.
We return from commercial.
I like this section, but I had a really hard time seeing what was going on.
It's a bright, overwhelming,
Chromia-
phantasmagoric glow of light and color.
Elita 1 stops time.
She does.
And she's shrieking as well. It's like almost overwhelming pain. I wonder if it... I mean, I guess it does literally cause pain because it's killing her. And yes, Ryan, Elita 1 is stopping time. She's used her special ability to save Optimus Prime. And she does so. She goes and grabs him from right above the acid pit. Everybody's frozen. She's the only one that can move.
And and then she the conceit is like she brings him into her time,
Right.
Yeah,
so he's able to move.
but it is
Then she starts to die.
Yes,
It is
because she
interesting
used all her power.
how much the effect will override the imagery. Like, I had a hard time seeing some of this stuff, but maybe that's just me. Like, I had a hard time seeing what was going on.
I think it's just you.
You're tripping, man.
I'm fine with that. I accept that.
She's used her special ability. She's going to die.
Mm-hmm.
It's drained her life force. Only Alpha Trion can save her. Prime swears to find Alpha Trion as he loads Elita into his trailer, which, Transformers trivia, this is the last time you'll see that little drone with the arm thing ever again.
The combat deck.
Mm-hmm. We go back to the acid pit. Starscream and the crew erroneously believe that
like,
Optimus
"Yay."
Prime is dead, though they're unquestioning of Elita's disappearance.
I have a little bit about that in script deviations.
And also, where did those parts come from? Is
The way I
another common
rationalized it
question.
in my head is maybe whatever he was hanging from fell into the pit.
the chains?
I like how
I
you're
don't
trying to
know. He was saying there's a rig.
I like how
I
you're
don't
trying
know.
to rationalize things right now.
Ironhide's crew
cute.
shows up, angered at what they believe to be the murder of
Sure.
their fallen leader. They attack full force and push the Decepticons back. This is another great section. Like, these angles are great. Ironhide firing from his fingers looks really cool.
This all the fights from here on are pretty awesome.
That's good animation.
Yeah.
Good animation. That's good.
That's good. Power glide flipping around like some kind of ninja. He does a kick Starscream in the chest. Oh, wait till you see Elita 1 inside of Optimus Prime, where Optimus Prime is racing down the Cybertronian highways, hauling Elita 1. She's fading fast.
Is this? I'm sorry if I don't remember. I apologize. Is this the first time that we've seen Optimus back on Cybertron?
I think so.
Have we ever seen?
other ones.
Have we seen Optimus on Cybertron previously?
I don't think so.
I don't know. That's pretty cool to me.
Yeah, no, I think you're right.
All right.
Meanwhile, the Decepticons and Autobots continue their battle outside. The Decepticons have regained their composure. They're putting up a strong fight. But then, who should arrive? Who should arrive?
Megatron.
The female Autobots. The female Autobots arrive. Ironhide seems to have a connection to Chromia. Firestar and Inferno may have a thing, and Powerglide and Moonracer seem to have, at one time,
A history.
maybe been friends.
I think they were just, they were partners.
I would have liked one awkward interaction, where
Oh, no.
yeah.
You would have liked that.
Yeah, I would have hey, what's going on? We're sorry. Yeah, we're not
I'm not there yet.
I'm not there yet. Exactly.
They easily push the Decepticons back, pushing Starscream off the edge of a cliff, which he hops off and transforms and temporarily retreats. Optimus Prime pulls into Alpha Trion's base. An elevator rises from the depths. It opens. It's Alpha Trion. I thought I'd never see you again. He brings Elita 1 to the depths of his laboratory. He'll do what he can, and now he's done all he can.
I like where Prime brings Elita to Alpha Trion, and the Alpha Trion comes up this weird elevator to the surface, and then Alpha Trion says, "Follow me." And I thought it would have been funny if, when they got to the bottom of the elevator, he had left Elita 1 on the surface, and was just like, "Your instructions were not specific."
Yeah, it is really. He takes her down to the laboratory. He says he's going to do whatever he can. He hangs out with her for 3 seconds and says, "Now it's Prime's turn to help her."
I like how
I mean-
Prime puts his hands behind his back and is pacing around and all emotional.
Like a expectant father.
Yeah, totally.
Is that how you did it?
Yep. Yeah, except I was instead of ignoring what was going on, I was right there in the action.
Were you in the room when your kids were born?
Oh yes, I cut the
the
umbilical.
whole time?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
I cut the umbilical and everything. I saw
With your teeth?
the child exit Andrea.
Which
was weird.
that sounded
So just to say, for Harrison, I remember his head coming out, and then she pushed, and all of a sudden his arm goes phew, like out like that. It was like,
That's weird.
and I was like, whoa, and then the rest of them came out. But I just still remember like, "Pweek."
Oh my god.
Yeah, I've witnessed that twice. It's fucking weird.
What's
And
weird
then
to
I
me,
have to take it home and deal with
Take it home. I've been watching. I've told Aaron this earlier, but I've been rewatching Mad Men,
Yeah.
and I'm like, man, what a great time when guys just didn't have to.
Oh, yeah.
Even be involved.
My grandfather apparently with my grandmother.
That's a joke, by the way.
Grandmother
everybody.
Carter and grandfather Carter. Apparently, my grandfather was working. I guess it was really common to knock a woman out, with not knock them out
No,
boxes,
I know,
but
like with ether.
yeah, and knock him, and then he wasn't even allowed back in the back to witness the birth, just waiting
Yeah,
around.
I don't think they let the guys.
But yeah, that's just weird to me because anymore it's if you're a father, you're there, you're hanging out, you're helping with the process, and then when it's time to push, it's time to push, and you're just there holding hands and watching that process happen. And if you want to, you can cut the umbilical cord, which I did. I don't remember much about it, but that's what happened.
he pulls out a Rambo knife. I got this. Whoosh.
Yeah, I didn't. I chose the surgical scissors that they gave me. So
Like you
But
picked from an array, or
I was my mom.
They have like a layout.
My mom was in labor with me for 16 hours, but with my sister that came 18 months later it was 20 minutes. My dad dropped my mom off, she was wheeled inside, and he went to park the car, and by the time he got back in the building, my sister was already born. He
That's
didn't
the
even,
way to go.
yeah, so that worked out well. I think he went back to work that day, back to the railroad.
Oh my god.
Anywho, that's life.
he had some fellow Union boy to torture.
Well, he had some things to do. Yeah. That's life.
Oh my god.
Ryan, what did you say about
All right,
Mad Men?
sorry.
Oh no, just that I've been rewatching it, and when Pete Campbell has his kid, it's just just go to work.
Like
Just
magic.
Go to the office.
It's like
They're not-
magic.
well, also you weren't allowed.
Yeah,
Legitimately, men were
yeah.
not allowed.
It's fucked up.
this
It-
living
yeah.
room.
It's like magic. It's you don't even realize what your wife is going through.
Alpha Trion says the Optimus Prime needs to disengage his power filter. I'm going to catch this audio for posterity. Only Prime's design can properly interface with Elita 1. How would Alpha Trion know that? Only Prime's
His
maker would know that.
designer. Yeah.
But Alpha Trion coyly says it's an educated guess.
I don't know why he's being coy.
An
I just want to get
educated guess,
I just want to
Prime.
get to the noise.
You know,
Please, Elita, reactivate.
So what could be said about that scene that hasn't already been said?
it's yeah, you could go that direction, but it's very tender.
I get. So what we just saw was Prime connecting something from his abdomen to something to Elita 1's abdomen.
Yeah.
And transferring power. But the groan is strange.
You're a pervert.
I do not believe that I am.
This is
I mean,
not a unique opinion.
maybe everyone's a pervert, Caleb. Maybe you're a non-pervert, and I will not be shamed.
Touche. It is an awkward moment, but
Somebody who.
I find it to be a very tender moment, and I look.
No, I agree.
Yeah. All kidding aside.
The Decepticons are pushed as far back as possible. Ironhide proclaims victory, but has he spoken too soon? Because Shockwave transforms into
A giant space gun?
and he unleashes a hellacious blast that knocks the Autobots dozens of meters away off the edge of a cliff, which they all desperately cling to.
A floating space gun.
When all seems lost, Prime and Elita 1 show up. Starscream is flummoxed. How could this be? he saw Prime die. The very presence of these two prompts a retreat, with Elita giving Shockwave a final pop in the dingus.
What they leave, the other Decepticons totally leave Shockwave behind. Once again, poor lonely Shockwave.
The combined femme and male team marvels at their new headquarters setup, which was constructed rather quickly. Each coupling reminisces about their old times and pledges more connection in the future after the war is won. Prime and Elita share a tender farewell moment. Farewell. They reflect on the wisdom and fatherliness of their relationship to Alpha Trion. Prime and his crew then head to the space bridge and depart. As the ladies wave goodbye, the camera pans away from the surface of Cybertron, and the scattered particles of Autobot mass find their way back to Earth.
I have a lot of things.
So long, ladies.
So Power Glide, upon viewing this new base, where they're like, "Oh man, this is the female Autobots are like, this is awesome." Power Glide says, "You should see our headquarters on Earth. It's full of this stuff."
No, it's
which
not.
I was like, I expected him to be like, "It's garbage."
Yeah, you just see our sure. Yeah, we blow it up every
All
week.
their monitors are broken.
Yeah.
It's a piece of shit.
Chromia
really
says,
funny.
"Well, Ironhide, I hate to admit it, but it's been nice to see you again." What did he do?
He had some attitude. I'm sure.
The foreshadowing of this origin story of Elita 1 and Prime are pretty. I mean, it's a pretty important episode.
Yeah.
In retrospect.
And I'm looking and as the everyman with really limited knowledge, I'm looking forward to seeing more of them in the future.
You'll get it.
Are we going to?
You will.
Do
get
we?
it.
Do we actually get to see more of them?
Yeah.
Or do we just see a past story?
Well, we see Elita 1.
Oh, that's good. What about the other ladies?
I don't know if we see
What about
like
the ladies?
Chromia and
No?
Yeah, the rest of
We
them.
do see Elita 1 again?
Well, there's at least a flashback episode where you see
That's good.
where Optimus Prime came from.
Elita
well-
1's in that one. Yeah.
I will hand it this.
But I don't know if we see her again in a contemporary context.
Oh, I see.
I don't know. She may in that episode.
No, I don't.
actually.
I think you're right. I think that's the only episode.
Cool.
I liked the episode.
That's the end.
I liked it.
This will be an
The
interesting
animation isn't the
episode.
best.
It is good.
It's a very good episode.
It's weird. It's weird. There's
animated
a lot
very
of
well.
Weird, like whatever. It's serviceable. It's fine.
Whatever. You shut your serviceable mouth.
No, it is for service.
Yes.
Anybody? Let's go to my OnlyFans.
What do you go by on OnlyFans?
Sweet meat. Sweet meat 29. I was gonna say 69, but that's too trite.
Yeah, that's cliche. Let's talk about toys.
Sure.
May we?
Yeah.
May
do
we
it.
momentarily?
Please.
Elita 1. There are a few interpretations of Elita 1 that have been created. None of them good. Just a little forecasting here. None of them are good for any of these characters. The Power of the Primes in 2018, which their version is kind of more of an interpretation of the IDW version of Elita 1, which is very broad, but has a great head sculpt that is very G1 centric. That exists, which I'm showing you,
Right on.
gentlemen, right now. That's this thing. She
Yep.
turns into a plane. Then there's the War for Cybertron version, kind of a younger version, but a very popular version right now. It's in the newest animation that's on Netflix. I don't love the design. It's basically a remold of the RC that they did recently, and her head sculpt doesn't look as G1 accurate, but it's not supposed to. Then you've got Firestar, Moonracer, Greenlight, and Lancer.
The latter two, I think, were not given names until much later.
True dat. And so here's the deal. This is a combiner. They've got Elita 1, which turns into this jet, which then becomes a combiner, and all of these are parts. Firestar, Moonracer, Greenlight, and Lancer. But they all just look really shitty. I mean, they've got good head sculpts, but the bodies are all the same. It's not a great transformation. There's a lot of kibble. It's just sad, unfortunately. I happen to own both of these Elita 1. Or I have the Firestar. I have Moonracer. I don't have Greenlight and Lancer. One of those two, Greenlight or Lancer, is like $300 on eBay.
Jesus.
And it's a garbage. It's a $20 toy. They're all remolds of each other with different head sculpts and color decos. And then there's Chromia, who has had a few toys, notably an IDW style Thrilling 30 version that was a remold of the TF Prime RC. So you guys probably didn't watch the Transformers Prime. So that's a remold of that. Great head sculpt, looks good. And it's also this is the design they used in the IDW comics for her. And then they also did a version that used basically the same mold as all of the characters you just saw, but ripped out all of her combiner parts. And so she isn't a combiner, and that's it. They all exist. Alpha Trion has also had a number of toys, Ryan.
Yeah.
None of them good.
Well, perhaps the best of them, in my opinion, are the 2007 timelines. Alpha Trion.
That's one of them, Caleb. That's an outstanding
Insightful.
point.
Sometimes I pay attention.
From 2007, it's called the Timelines Alpha Trion. It's not that great either. It's transformed. I kind of like its transformation. It looks really neat. Then there is the X-Gokin. I think that's a third party, but it's an officially licensed third party. They have a version of Alpha Trion. You can get it for $350. It looks great. It also doesn't transform.
So
but
expensive.
But it's a good-looking figure. But I'm sure the quality's not there. But you do get old and young Alpha Trion.
It's like with and without the beard, really?
Yeah.
What a deal.
What a fucking deal. Voice actors.
Yes.
Alpha Trion was voiced by John Stevenson mostly, but also Corey Burton did one episode, and Tony Pope did one episode. We've covered John Stevenson several times, the voice of Dr. Alcazar, Bosch, DEFCON, football coach Hector Ramirez, Huffer, Cup, Thundercracker, Windcharger. He's a real ringer with the B team. We also know who Corey Burton is. Tony Pope was a voice actor best known as the voice of the Furby toy.
Huh.
And he was also the voice
Holy
of
shit.
Retgar in season 3.
That's huge.
Firestar's English voice actor was not appropriately credited, as far as I can tell. Moonracer was voiced by Morgan Lofting, who we know as the Baroness, and also Joan and Dr. Harding, who is really just the Baroness in disguise. And Elita 1 was voiced fantastically, in my opinion, by Marlene Aragon.
Yeah, she's
and
great.
this was her only Transformers role, but she played Cheetah on the 1978 Challenge of the Super Friends Plastic Man Adventure Show, the Fonz and Happy Days Gang, and 31 episodes on Gem and the Holograms as a few characters, Synergy, Joni, and
Synergy.
Geraldine Pathos. She's also credited for providing overdubs in Weird Al Yankovic's 1992 album, Off the Deep End. She was a singer and actor.
That's really fascinating, actually. That's interesting. When
So-
I say that, I say actually because like I'm actually engaged at this point with it. So
Because you liked this episode.
I do. I did.
I feel bad about that uncredited. Like, all the females are just like, whatever. I guess they were here.
It's an interesting episode. Females play a pivotal role, and they're super responsible. And like, the writer was female, and it's just too bad that there's not more of it.
Well, I agree. I agree, Caleb. I agree.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems to be a pretty important episode, and I would like to know more. I'd like to know the thoughts of others.
I mean, it is groundbreaking in that it introduced the concept of the female Autobot.
Yeah, but also a patron, like Alpha Trion. There's a lot. There's a lot going on here. It alludes to a lot. It opens the door for a lot of things.
Great history lesson.
Seems like it opened the door for other things to come. And did they fulfill that? Did they live up to that expectation?
No.
No, and it's depressing and it's sad.
Now, just one more reason for Ryan to kill himself.
No, I just don't.
I
no,
don't need more.
he doesn't need more. He's got enough.
I got them all.
In the real world.
Woo, the search for Alpha Trion aired on November 12th, 1985. In the American Top 40, I picked another 1985 hot-ass hit, Kate Bush's Running Up That Hill.
It's you and me, you won't be unhappy and only good. I make a deal with God, and I get to swap out places. Be running down that road, be running down
know this song?
Nope.
This is two totally fresh surprises you've given us a couple weeks in a row here.
I am sure you know this song.
I'm sure if I heard it.
Gonna run up that hill, make a deal with God.
I don't know it.
Fine.
It's Kate Bush.
Kate Bush, running up that hill.
Hold on.
This is the first single from Kate's 1985 album, Hounds of Love, and it was the most successful of her 1980s releases, peaking at number 30 on the American charts and number 3 in the UK. In a retrospective review of the single, AllMusic journalist Amy Hansen wrote, quote, always adept at emotion and beautifully able to manipulate even the most bitter of hearts. Rarely has Bush penned such a beautiful, truthful, painful, sensual song. Kate Bush has said this song is essentially about a disconnect between a male and a female, and the deal with God is to have her ability to understand each other. It's a turn on the deal with the devil.
Yeah, but that seems very relevant to this episode, where Alpha Trion
you're right.
where Alpha Trion is God.
Did you recognize the song?
No, it's weird. I don't recognize this song.
Would you play
That's
it on mic?
unbelievable. I mean, I'll play it.
I just want to hear it. A little synth.
I know Kate. I've heard of
Opera.
Kate Bush, but I do not know the song. I'm willing to admit I have blind spots. Everyone has blind spots. So, but that's one of them.
Okay.
Oddly enough,
I love this song, actually. I
It's
know
a cool
it's
song.
I know I say I don't care about music, which it's not really true. It just means I don't really know anything about music, but it's super easy for music to move me, which is kind of the whole point. And Kate Bush is that does it for me. This song does it for me.
Sure.
Like her lyrics, her sound, it just shakes something inside that I feel. It makes me feel things. Also, Kate Bush, and this song in particular, is hugely influential in all genres of music. Like, I watched a video a couple of months ago about how Big Boy from Outkast talked about how she was a huge inspiration for him.
Fascinating.
Wow.
Number 1 at the box office. No new one this week, so here's another 1985 classic I revisited recently, Death of a Salesman. Have you guys seen this movie?
Is
No,
it Dustin Hoffman?
It is Dustin Hoffman.
I haven't seen it.
No, I haven't. I don't.
Never heard of it.
I haven't seen this one. Which is the one with Alex Baldwin?
Alex
Oh, you're
Baldwin.
talking about Glenn Ross.
Larry, we can't talk.
I put this on while I was working, and man, that was a mistake. This movie is a real bummer.
Yeah.
Like, this is a CBS made-for-TV film starring Dustin Hoffman, Kate Reed, John Malkovich, Stephen Lang, and Charles Durning. The story centers on Willie Loman, for those who don't know, an overworked traveling salesman alternatingly transposed between the present and just a bunch of flashbacks. The main thrust is that after struggling for his entire life as a salesman at the same firm, he is fired and has to deal with the repercussions of that and how he got here. It's the story of a super dysfunctional family who all refuse to deal with their emotional issues and live in denial.
How is it as an adaptation of the?
It's excellent.
Okay.
It's very good.
Oh yeah, it's a totally depressing story.
The film earned 10 Emmy nominations, winning 3, and had 4 Golden Globe nominations, winning 1.
Okay.
And I'm like, I know that I'm thinking the same thing you guys are. I'm like, how did they turn that movie into a play? Thank you. I'm glad that
was a good. That was brilliant.
Arthur Miller, he had sex with
Marilyn Monroe.
Marilyn Monroe.
Yep,
Yeah,
he
good
sure
for him.
did.
He also did, of course, The Crucible, which was my star turn in high school.
Weren't you
theater.
Hopkins?
I think that was the name of my character.
It was not in. He was never stated on stage, but
Yeah, I had one line.
And Marianne was Tituba.
The titular.
It's not the titular
The
character.
titular Tituba. She was the titular. She was the
named
titular
like
Crucible.
Yeah.
Dustin Hoffman has stated that this is one of, if not his favorite movies he's ever done. Arthur Miller envisioned Willie as a small guy with a booming voice, and Dustin Hoffman was basically the first actor to embody that,
Sure.
as the actor in the play was a large man. So it's so good and so sad. Fun facts from this week in history. I'm out of fun facts, so I'll tell you something about myself. I've been skydiving
You've been, you went skydiving.
this one time. I did it.
Something
I did
we've
it,
never
y'all.
done.
I'm never going
What was it
unless I'm
like?
in a plane that
All
just
right.
breaks in half.
So I know it's been a few years ago, but what was it like?
It's great. It's really, really fun. I don't see the reason to do it again, but it's
Right.
really fun. I can understand why people would like to do it, but for
What-
me, I'm like, that was really good.
What's it
really
like
cool.
to jump out of a plane and then? Well, I shouldn't say that. What's it like to all of a sudden be like thousands of feet above the planet?
Very peaceful,
Yeah, I bet.
honestly.
I would love it. I would fucking
And like, it's not like when you're like when you go over a hump in a car, your stomach doesn't drop
right.
because the wind resistance, so it pushes against your body.
Yeah.
So you don't feel like you're falling. You feel like you're not
Suspended.
moving at all.
You're just suspended and things are just coming slowly. You're just
Yeah, it's
watching
very
things move.
slow
Yeah, you're just watching things
until the end, when it comes very fast. But like, yeah, no, it's honestly like getting out of the plane and jumping. It's not. I
I wouldn't have a problem with that.
I didn't think it was scary at all. Like
Yeah,
it was great.
That's awesome.
I recommend it if you want to do it.
Where'd you do it?
I think it was Ozark or it was somewhere like a regional
Around
area.
here?
Yeah.
Interesting.
How many people were on the plane?
Like 5 of us. And if you jump, like, you have to take a couple hours of like training of like, this is what we're gonna do. And if you're jumping for the first time, it's all tandem. So
Sure.
like for me, basically your pull is right here by your right hip. That's where you pull the cord. But I couldn't find it at the time. I didn't panic or anything because I've got a guy on my back, but I couldn't find it. And so he eventually had to pull it. But like, that's it.
Fascinating. Yeah, I like it.
It was great. I highly
Well,
recommend it.
Thanks
if you're
for
at all
thanks for
interested.
adding that as a supplement to not
The
having
real world.
the real world. Yeah, cool.
Caleb, it sounds like you're excited to do skydiving.
I'd like to do it. My dad's always wanted to do it, but he's scared in a way. In a weird way, he just feels.
I'm scared. I'm
Yeah.
not doing it.
It's not scary.
Anyway, what's up?
I mean, that's subjective.
You're right. You're completely right.
Yeah. Anyway,
My sister bought my dad a skydiving trip for his for Father's Day. I think he's 78. He also had 2 toes amputated recently.
I can't believe your dad's 78, and I'm sorry to hear about it.
Floyd
he was
Floyd
born-
is 78.
Maybe not. I don't know. He was born in 48. What's the math?
Okay. If he was my mom
58,
no,
68,
he's 73.
Close enough.
My mother was born in 48. He's 30 years older than us.
He tried to ask if they could if they could give him like the toes in a jar, and they wouldn't let
Like
him
in the
have
sky,
them.
he lost the toes during skydiving.
No, he had to have him cut because he was in an accident and like the bone got infected and he had to have him cut him off. Yeah,
Yeah, I was about to say, I can understand Floyd being 73. Actually, it's weird. But
it is weird, right?
There's a big difference between.
It feels different.
At that age, it's weird. There's a big difference between 73 and 78.
It's true.
There's a big difference between 73 and 83. 83 to 93. It's fucked up.
I've been reading a book about that was written in I think 2003. That was about like the last of the doughboys from World War One, and like he interviews people who are all over 100. It's very interesting.
I'd like to hear it.
Your comment about there's a big difference between 83 and 93. I feel like those extremes feel more extreme at the beginning and end of life. Like there's a difference between 3 and 13.
It's true.
Oh, yeah.
13
Yeah.
and 23.
Between like 30 and 60.
Then everything else between 23 and 63 is about the same.
From like 25 to 65.
You're in a lot more pain the older you get.
I don't know. I mean, I just think things happen fast.
Things ache.
Life comes at you pretty fast.
Yeah. My aunt, remember the aunt that we had with Kitten Harper that turned 100? The aunt?
Yes.
She is 101.
How's she doing?
She's been having some episodes lately, but she's in an independent living facility.
I don't want it. I don't want to live that long.
She's 101. My original piano teacher, she's suffering from dementia, but she's 103.
Ugh. Yeah, there's stories in the book of like, I interviewed this guy and he never got out of his bed, and I'm like, no, thank you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
This real world just got too real.
It is. Yeah, real fucking-
How about let's deviate
All right,
script-wise?
yeah, help us out, Aaron.
Oh, are we still doing that?
Script deviations.
I don't really have that many script deviations, except to say that there's a line that seems like it was added later because it's not in the shooting script. After Elita rescues Prime, and from the perspective of the Decepticons, Elita 1 disappears, like we talked about. Starscream says, "But Prime has disintegrated," as if responding to some unspoken line that one of the others delivers. The missing line is also absent from the episode's shooting script. It would seem likely that it's just to cover the fact Elita 1's missing. They're like, it doesn't matter. Prime's dead. That's pretty much all the script deviations.
Well, then let's bring this home by rating that shit. I hated it because there was no humans.
Oh, gosh.
I-
What a shame.
I'd rate it very highly because I'm a sucker for backstory, whether they're I'm a sucker for backstories. I'm a sucker for anything happening on Cybertron, and I like it when new characters are introduced. And let's face it, female characters, sexy and interesting.
Sexy.
Sexy and interesting.
I will
said it. I said it.
Well, when you're in a show that is dominated by masculine energy, for lack of a better word, it does bring some spice into the recipe, you know,
it's
whether it's
exciting.
Carly, whether it's female Autobots, a female ninja robot. Like
Sure.
it creates something
Sure.
that is different and worth talking about for sure.
Sure. So
Yeah, no, I agree.
The scheme, if there was one, was that of the fembots going after Shockwave's energy, and they succeeded. And then it became about the Decepticons finding and disabling the fembots, which they succeeded. And then it became about Prime rescuing Elita 1, which he succeeded. Everybody wins.
Yeah, not good. The Decepticons were not good in this one or the last one. They're acting more like the Autobots every day. They're just garbage.
So okay, we can.
I'm the ghost of the iconic movement.
You know,
I
there's
guess
a lot, really.
it's true. I mean, for me, in just knowing what is about to come, the tease, and honestly, like Beth Borstein, kind of made a huge canonical change in that she. I mean, we now have an origin story that we'll see later of Elita 1 and Optimus Prime.
Mm-hmm.
Orion, Pax, and Ariel.
That has impact in every iteration of Transformers.
Yep.
Going forward.
It opens a lot of doors.
It's a big turn in the story.
Absolutely.
Alpha Trion
Yep.
as a character.
With his human nose. His
Yeah.
weird beard. Next time on the Autopod Decepticast.
And away we go. It's another romance episode as we ponder the question, is it okay for a robot airplane and human female to smash as long as consent
Yes.
is required for both parties? I think you need written consent in this case. You hard copy on that.
In case they go to court.
Yeah. If you like what we do, and I
don't know why you would.
It's not this time. But if you like what we do and you like to get a little bit more in the universe and maybe some swagga-dagga douche in it all, then check out our Patreon, patreon.com/APODDcast, or you can check out our store at autopoddecepticast.com and see if there's any sundries that you might be interested in. Otherwise, keep listening. We're on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, TuneIn, all them tings.
5 stars, please.
Leave a review if you are so inclined. Just take 5 minutes out of your day. Follow us.
What the fuck are you doing?
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of them at APODDcast. And, of course, the aforementioned AutopodDecepticast.com. Ryan, what are you going to put up there?
I got a thing.
Give us some money.
We
See what happens.
See what
We're
happens.
recording this really late.
Roll the dice.
We're just really tired.
I'm not tired at all.
This isn't the status quo.
I'm in my prime.
Good night, everybody.
I'm your Huckleberry. Pew pew pew. Jesus, good God.
That happened.
Bro Cells is the sponsor of Autopod Decepticast. Yes, 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 yes.